I had plenty of great teachers and some not so great teachers. Um, but I think the main thing, the animating principle behind all of the teachers that I had who were incredibly helpful was that they took my needs seriously. You don't necessarily even need to have a PhD in disability studies or autism studies or a PhD in psychiatry to know all the needs of autistic people or anybody with a disability, honestly. But what you do need to do is you need to take the needs of autistic students seriously. So I'll give the perfect example. When I was a sophomore in college, that was my first year at the University of North Carolina. I completely bombed a test because my mind drew a blank. It was a class where we were supposed to remember which songs from which countries in Africa, a song was from, and my I'd spent all night studying for it with my classmate, and then my mind completely drew a blank. And at that point, I was like, okay, I realize I need help. Because I didn't want to ask for services before, and then so I went to my professor. I'll never forget it, Dr. David Peer, and I said, Dr. Peer, I need some help. I'm disabled. I'm autistic. I need assistance to get through college. And then what he did, I'll never forget this. Without hesitation, he called the I guess the disability support services or whatever at my university, and he called them. 2 minutes later, he said, they're waiting for you. Go." And I went and I got hooked up with a guidance counselor, and my experience at the University of North Carolina changed overnight. David Pierre was not a psychiatrist. He was not a professional in this. He was a music teacher on the history of uh, African music, but he took my needs seriously. And I think that's the most important thing, is that you shouldn't question the needs. You should say, okay, you have these needs and you have this disability. How do we adapt and how do we make the class adaptable? And I should say, I worked no less hard when I got the accommodations. I worked my tail off, but what it did is that it created an environment where that was accessible to me, that allowed me to succeed. And I think that's one thing. I think a lot of professors and teachers and things like that, when they hear about disability accommodations, they think that students want an easy pass. That's not the case. Oftentimes, we want to succeed and we want to work just as hard as anybody else.